Hi there, this is David, and welcome to New RPG News. We have a lot of stuff to talk about this week. We have some Chrono Cross news, Final Fantasy Pixel Remastered, that Legend of Dragoon disaster, and a brand new RPG being announced. But first, we're going to start here with the Atelier Remake, The Alchemist of Salzburg. We now have a release date. This is the very first Atelier game, and it was never released before in America. It was originally released on the PlayStation 1, but now it's going to be remade and released worldwide July 13th. So I've talked about this pretty briefly before in some previous videos. I never played it before. I wasn't really into the Atelier games until the PS2 came around, and also it just was never released here in America. So yeah. It is going to be released on the PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC. And Japan is going to be getting some pretty cool stuff with this. However, those of us in the West are not. The Atelier Remake is digital only outside of Japan. I guess this kind of goes and shows the state of JRPGs and how they treat their fans. It's kind of crummy, I've got to say. And it's also kind of telling that this was in the Japanese Nintendo Direct, but this wasn't in the English Nintendo Direct. So, yeah, it just kind of sucks. You can buy a digital deluxe edition. It says that it comes with a costume set in-game, the Atelier Marie Plus, and background music soundtrack of Gust's games, but it's only available digitally. So, yeah, that really just kind of sucks for any of you who were looking forward to this game. I was kind of looking forward to maybe trying it out, seeing where this game started, maybe buying a collector's edition, because sometimes they're not that expensive with these, other companies, and we'll get to that later, because Square makes them really expensive. Other companies still have some reasonably priced collector's editions. Roughly a year after its release, Square finally decided to patch Chrono Cross The Radical Dreamers Edition. If you haven't yet played this game and you want to play it in its full glory, now is the time. Basically what they've done is they've done some minor bug fixes. They've increased the frame rate, most notably in battles. So it says on the official website, the patch notes state that the game will now run at 60 FPS in battle on all platforms, though there is an additional caveat with the Switch version. In the final battle only, the game will run at 30 frames per second, which is not really a big deal as far as I am concerned. It says Pip's growth system has also been adjusted, with the Japanese website going into a ton of detail on how Pip's evolutions have changed. If you are one of the 3 people in the world who uses Pip, hey, have at it, use him, have fun. But yeah, I'm personally glad that Square is standing behind their games and wanting to improve them and make them the best that they can be. I'm kind of shocked that it took them a year to do this, and honestly, this should have been fixed before it even came out. I think that companies releasing half-finished games, half-assed games, games that they know could run better is just a really, really bad business practice, and it needs to stop. Like, it just needs to stop. I mean, I'm glad that they fixed it. I'm good for them, but it should have been fixed. It should have been fine before they even released the game a year ago. Speaking of Square, yeah. So, I've been talking about the Pixel Remasters for quite a bit of time now, and as you are probably aware, the physical release of the Pixel Remasters was Square Enix Store only. And it sold out within like 24 hours, if not sooner than that. And the collector's edition, I think, sold out within like 3 hours. But right now, if you go on Play Asia, there is a physical release for the Pixel Remasters. It's at $80 right now, which is kind of a bit, but considering that, Final Fantasy VI, when it first came out for the SNES, back whenever I was a kid, cost $80, and that was back in 1994 money, it's really not that big of a deal. You get great games, it has fast forwarding, it is like the definitive way to play these games. I have them all on Steam, and I really, really, really did enjoy them. They don't have any extra content from like the Game Boy Advance ports or anything else like that, but they're still just fantastic, fantastic games to play. Especially, I would say, Final Fantasy III, because they really did rebalance the job system in that one. So if you have been holding out and you've been waiting for the Pixel Remasters to come out physically, now is your time to grab them over on PlayAsia. Another game that you might want to pick up is Legend of Heroes Trails into Reverie. This is going to be for the Switch, the PS4, and the PS5. I'm over on Amazon right now. Unfortunately, the Switch version is sold out, so you do want to act fast. There is still a version available for the PS4 and PS5, but the reason why I'm talking about this is because they're $60. And for $60, here's what you get. You actually get a real deluxe edition with some extra stuff that you normally wouldn't get with a game. It's not just, a game that you open up and there's no manual and there's nothing else. You actually get stuff for your money. Who knew? What a concept! So you get a miniature art book to open up right there, a little digital soundtrack as well. So this is really nice. It is nice whenever some companies can put out a game for a reasonable cost and actually give you some pretty cool stuff with it, and it doesn't cost $200, $300 like some companies do. Yeah, I'm still sour about all that, but I just thought that I would bring this up to y'all, let y'all know that these are selling fast. I'll have a link to this in the video description if you'd like to purchase this and also support the channel at the same time. I know there's a lot of Trails fans out there. I, for one, am looking forward to this game being released on July 7th of this year. Legend of Dragoon fans are disappointed in the unplayable port. Yeah, tried to warn y'all. No, I'm just joking. This is really, really, really crummy, I've got to say. So many people were super excited about Legend of Dragoon finally being released for the PS4 and PS5, and they really wanted to go, and they really wanted to play it, and they wanted to see what it was all about. So they go and they buy it, they download it, they try to play it, only to be completely screwed over because it is completely unplayable. It says, one of the most persistent bugs is a soft lock during battles once Dragoon magic has been used, leaving players with either an unresponsive or a black screen. I've heard that if you use anybody's Dragoon magic besides darts, that it just completely just shuts down the game, just locks it totally. And that is so crummy. That just to me tells me that nobody bug tested this thing. Like, nobody went through and checked to make sure that this was okay. They just grabbed the game, threw it up there, and said, oh, well, let's just hope for the best. Other bugs include garbled text, jittering blue lines around background objects, voice lines not playing in battle, and issues with the rewind feature breaking the game. Yeah. How a game can work on DuckStation for 20 plus years now, which was made by one man. That emulator was made by one person, and it runs perfectly fine, but the entire team of Sony can't figure this out whenever they have the hardware and they created the game and they have all the documents and everything else, and they can't get it together and get it right. Why are these game companies releasing these unfinished games? Like, this is so half-assed. Where's the quality control? What is going on with the quality control department? Who is playtesting these things? Like, this is ridiculous. This is an embarrassment. This is horrible. And honestly, every single person who purchased this should demand a refund, and they should just get their game for free, and Sony should still fix their game and let them have their game for free, because this is unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable, no matter how you feel about this game in particular, whether you like it or you don't like it. What they are doing is absolutely unacceptable. And our final story of the day is a brand new turn-based JRPG, Zika Trees, being released for the PS4, PS5, and Switch in Japan in June. So we don't know much about this, but what we do know is that it is a turn-based JRPG, and you control a teacher leading 7 students on missions responding to emergencies. It says, choice and immense skill variety are emphasized as the selling points for the gameplay, with these students needing to grow after enduring severe hardships and becoming scarred. In fact, Zika Trees means scar in French, with the crux of the game comprising the students overcoming their past emotional scars. Gameplay will have players develop the students' basic stats and skills by extension, with every character's specialties differing. Further, the passage of time must also be taken into account when hanging out with the students. Monsters formed from people's negative thoughts will be fought alongside criminals missing their abilities, but your students who are unable to overcome their past scars and move forward will be swallowed by their agony, resulting in bad ends. Thankfully, bonuses are earned as these bad endings are achieved, making your progress easier in other go-arounds. This, to me, it sounds like Trails of Cold Steel. Like, if you were controlling Sarah, and you were going out and you were, like, fighting with your students or whatever, but it's, like, darker. Like, look at some of these screenshots and everything. Like, what the hell? You know? It just seems pretty dark. It also... Oh, wow. Yeah, look at these turn-based battles there. Look at the enemies. This is like Shin Megami Tensei meets Trails of Cold Steel right here. So it's just interesting. We don't know if there's going to be a Western release or anything else like that, but I thought that I would just bring this to all of y'all's attention. So let me know what you liked most about the news this week. Let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know if there's anything else that you'd like for me to cover. And as always, have a good day.